Today I'm going to be talking about how the modern day church is cooked from corrupt pastors and becoming a den of thieves. But before we talk about this, I'm going to be going downstairs to incorporate bodybuilding because I believe building the body, building the temple of God is truly important on you walk with Jesus Christ of Nazareth. That's why I like to incorporate them both inside my YouTube channel. So if you clicked on this video and got us already here, he's already here to hear this message today. So make sure you guys stick around because I'm going to be going downstairs to work out before we dive a little bit into the message. So feel free to skip ahead and timestamps below. That's why I put them there for you guys. And I'll see you guys after this little montage. So enjoy.
You can miss me with that fake shit. How you robo writing statements. I'ma change the world, little nigga, I'm not basic. Money in my hand, spend it all, then I'll replace it. She know I'm the man, why she in here getting naked. My gang in the building, we came up from dirty basements. Nigga try to beef with us, we left him in the pavement. Take a puff and all my feelings go away, I'm painless. Ops want me dead, we gon' hit him with the stainless. Off a Addy pill, I'ma fuck her till she brainless. House up in the hills, all of my neighbors are famous. Foreigns in the front, you would think a nigga racing. Crack another blunt, now I'm higher than a spaceship. I ain't going out bad, I'm destined for greatness. Thought you was my mans, now I see you on some lame shit. Not part of the plan, always knew that you were hating. Smoke a ton of grams, I'm in love with being faded. Stand on top of everything I do, yes I believe. I set the bar higher, I be working to achieve. It's not too many people out here doing it like me. My town behind my back, I got these kids chasing their dreams. You can miss me with that fake shit. How you robo writing statements. I'ma change the world, little nigga, I'm not basic. Money in my hand, spend it all, then I'll replace it. She know I'm the man, why she in here getting naked. My gang in the building, we came up from dirty basements. Nigga try to beef with us, we left him in the pavement. Take a puff and all my feelings go away, I'm painless. Ops want me dead, we gon' hit him with the stainless. Where you at and where you been? The money changing on your friends, now you caving in. Hard to say no like it hurts, they can't comprehend. Feel like I've been through the worst and they don't understand. Know they want me in the ground with the dirt and sand, but it's not happening. I know you niggas capping when it comes down to this rapping. My whole life been a savage, never been the one for acting. Out in Cali, Calabasas, eating sushi with a bad bitch. Run my money up, now I'm living way better. This exclusive drip I can wear in any weather. Fly like a bird while they tryna pluck my feathers. A band on my shoes and 3,000 You can miss me with that fake shit. How you robo writing statements. I'ma change the world, little nigga, I'm not basic. Money in my hand, spend it all, then I'll replace it. She know I'm the man, why she in here getting naked. My gang in the building, we came up from dirty basements. Nigga try to beef with us, we left him in the pavement. Take a puff and all my feelings go away, I'm painless. Ops want me dead, we gon' hit him.
Alright, what's up guys? Just finished the workout. Going to be jumping into the topic of the day. It's going to be the modern day church is cooked. And I have here for number one, it's going to be corrupt pastors. And I have about verse from 2 Peter 2:18-19 that says, For they mouth empty boastful words, and by appealing to the lusts, full desires of the flesh, they entice people who are escaping from those who live in error. They promise them freedom, while they themselves are slaves to depravity, for people are slaves to whatever he mastered them. Apostle Peter condemns false teachers who entice people with empty boastful words, promising freedom, while they themselves are slaves to corruption. So this is something that I actually saw recently while watching a little bit of a podcast, that something happened where a pastor had taken money to actually start preaching a certain topic, a certain agenda, to take this money and go and preach that on stage to influence these people a false narrative. So it was pretty interesting to hear about that. For number two, I'm going to be diving into the agenda that they were pushing a little bit. I don't want to go too much into detail, but there's a slow awakening, a great awakening happening for what has been going on, not even in the churches, but in our world that we're living in here. And it's definitely all correlated back to the Bible, because these things must take place, unfortunately. But you have to know that your pastor who is preaching, he might be taking said money. He might be influenced by, negative people and negative things. You have to be aware that, these people that are getting up on stage, who is teaching them? Who's influencing them? Who's controlling them? Are they controlled? You have to ask yourself. You can't just go to a church and just show up and listen. You have to actually, all right, why is he saying that? Why does he believe that? Why does he believe that God does this for him? Why does he believe that God's going to do this for me? And then you realize, all right, things start to add up, and you start to see other people do it. You know what I mean? It's very important that you be aware of these false pastors, these corrupt pastors, and you ask God, hey God, go to God. Don't go to a pastor. Go to God. Say, hey God, go into prayer. Say, hey, I want to know if this pastor is corrupt. Is he corrupt? If he's corrupt, show me. Show me if he's actually speaking the truth, Lord. And you have to be aware, grow in discernment, grow in the knowledge, grow in the wisdom. When I was going to a church, I didn't realize that at first first, but over time as I grew on my walk with Jesus, not the pastor, with Jesus, I was able to see that, these pastors are corrupt and they tell you literally everything that, makes you feel good and brings you up. It does the complete opposite. You walk out that door, nothing changes. These pastors are just doing this for the, money at the end of the day, so be aware of this. So moving on here, number 2 is going to be selling out for them boys, if you know what I mean. I have about a verse in Matthew 7:15 that Jesus says, "Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves." Jesus lets us know this is a call to discern by urging believers to be cautious of religious leaders who may appear harmless and righteous on the outside, like sheep, but are actually deceptive and harmful like wolves. You can go different ways with this, but what do I mean by them boys? If you know what I mean by them boys, so look into the JFK assassination, look into 9/11, look into the USS Liberty, and these things will all lead you to the correct path of who them boys are. And there's a great awakening happening, so be aware. And this is, what influenced that pastor that I was talking about before that to push these agendas in the church. He took some money, and then he took that money to go and spread said word about, make these people look good when they're doing the complete opposite. They're doing horrible, very demonic, very dark things. And then you start to learn about the Talmud and some of the laws, the things they live by, and it's very, very dark path you go down, once you start researching and hearing and watching podcasts about these things. And it's very crazy to even hear that these agendas are getting all the way pushed into our church. But we have to be aware that, most modern day churches right now are corrupt. They're all dirty. There's nothing really, too godly about them, I'd say. It's really just all pushing an agenda that all could get paid off for. So be aware of this. Use your own discernment, use your knowledge, use your wisdom that God has given you, and I'll walk with Him. So moving on here, number 3 is going to be, "It has become a den of thieves again." So I have about a verse in Matthew 21:13 that says, "It is written, He said to them, My house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of thieves." So Jesus quotes Isaiah 56:7 and Jeremiah 7:11 to express his anger at the commercialization of the temple in Jerusalem. He declares that the temple should be called a house of prayer, and it has turned into a den of thieves by the money changers and merchants conducting business within the courts. So if you guys have seen the new season of The Chosen, if you watch that, if you're invested into your walk with Jesus Christ of Nazareth, I'm sure you've come across it. And in the new season, I believe it's season 5, that Jesus goes into the temple courts, and he literally, this Bible verse, this scene is in the movie of him going into the house of prayer in Jerusalem and seeing that it's turned into a den of robbers. They're selling, there's money changers, there's merchants, and Jesus really gets frustrated with this, and he goes, he grabs his whip, and he starts turning over the tables. And you have to be aware that the same exact thing that had happened in Jerusalem at the temple is the same thing that's happening in our churches, which is supposedly the temple. We are the temple of God. That you don't need 4 walls to be temple. That's all garbage right there, but that's a whole another video in of itself. So be aware that these churches are corrupt. They're selling merchandise, they're selling clothes, they're selling these programs, they're trying to get your money from you, literally, it's all corrupt, it's all gone worldly. There's nothing spiritual about it. There's nothing really there. I remember that there was this pastor that would literally said he would pray for hours and hours and hours. I'm like, bro, I didn't understand it at first, but I realized down the road that is very worldly. That is very demonic. That is not something that God is proud about. You don't go and brag and say, I've been praying for hours and hours, and try to make people do it. Totally corrupt, false teaching. So be aware of this, guys. That's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So be aware of these corrupt pastors. If they're pushing an agenda, question everything your pastor says. Go home, do research, or just think about it in your head. And why does he believe this? Just always think, always ask questions. Don't just take everything as they say it. And that's why I had stepped away from the church. I saw things. I saw people around them that just didn't stick. I felt very uncomfortable once I started to see these things. So be aware of this, guys, and just know that stepping away might bring you closer to Jesus Christ of Nazareth and draw you closer to God, and that might be what He wants you to do and walk with Him. And I honestly recommend stepping away from the church for a little bit, but that's between you and God to talk about, not for me and you to talk about. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little bit of a new content with the machine I got here. So yeah, hopefully you guys have a beautiful, blessed day in Jesus' name. Peace.